here we are once again.
Hi, Adam. Nice to
Hey,
see you again. It's been some time. Really nice to see you and talk to you.
I know, I can't believe it's been nearly 2 years since we did the album.
It's unbelievable how time flies.
Yeah,
I told you like, we texted the other day and I told you that I was, I had a friend that I didn't see for a long time and I made him listen to the record and he was very, very positive about it. And
yeah,
then it hit me as well too. Like we did this in 2021.
that's
It's
right. Yeah,
incredible.
exactly. Yeah,
When you have a full album, you always think that it's going to take a lot of time,
yeah,
because there's a lot of tracks to work on. But when you get in the flow of things, and especially if you have a collaboration
yeah,
like us, everything went so smoothly and so naturally, you get it track by track, and it's like that's it, that's
I
it's over.
know.
But I really enjoyed it so much.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's right. But so many people ask me, like, when's the second one coming out?
Oh, that's great to hear.
Yeah, like I was saying before, like I've got the tracks there, like the 10 I got off you, so or 10, 11, I can't remember now. But yeah, definitely this year back into it.
That's what I'm talking about. That's the spirit. Absolutely.
I've seen a lot of the ones on your site where people, have used different riffs and on your drums, and yeah, each time I see one, like, oh, it really inspires me to do it again.
Yeah, that's great to hear. That's what I do, But what I wanted to say is that, yeah, I enjoyed working with you guys really so much on this record. Like you had written some amazing songs, and to have all these prestigious guests like Jennifer Batten and Brett Garst, and to be able to mix those guys, and that's just fantastic, especially for me who is like a lover of like instrumental guitar music from the 80s,
Yeah,
that niche, it was very, very exciting. Yeah, absolutely.
yeah, no, it's really good. So, what's been happening over the last 2 years since we did this project?
Yeah, so I mean, since then I've done a lot of other custom work for other artists, a lot of other talented artists as well. It's actually incredible when I realized the depth of the talent in today's music world. Like the mainstream media never covers it. You know what I mean? They always talk about like established bands like Metallica, Iron Maiden, all these guys. But there are so many new, talented artists that are not part of the mainstream, label, industry, but that are promoting themselves directly through social media and that are incredibly talented. It's just incredible. So, yeah, every time I get contacted, hey, do you want to custom track for me? Do you want to produce, this EP? And I'm always so amazed, I'm always so amazed of the depth of talent of people that come to me,
Yeah,
or the people that, write songs with my drum tracks that they can purchase on my store. And yeah, it's just always fantastic. So now I'm having a blast. I'm
yeah,
having a blast, collaborating with all these amazing musicians through the internet, and see the development also of some of them. Some that started in a more modest fashion, but
yeah.
that over the years that have progressed, in their production skills, in their craft at the instrument. So it's also, you're building relationship. It's not just a business relationship. It's also you're really over a long term. You're building, and musicianship and relationship with these people who are all over the world. So it's been fantastic. And
Mm.
so yeah, custom work, a lot of production, and working on my drum tracks that I upload on my YouTube and on my website for people to purchase, write, and record their songs with. And basically, yeah, that. And very recently, I've been asked about it for quite some time. And again, like you said, you can't do everything, at the same time. Time is always a factor to consider. But I've been asked for a long time for, a program that will help my users to know how to program, drums the way I do it.
Mm.
And so up to now, I didn't find uh, the time for it. But finally, after many requests, I'm thinking, okay, now I really have to do it. And so I've launched like 3 weeks ago a mentorship program on my website where we one-to-one with the user. I go step by step on the methods I use to program my drum tracks from beginning to end. And I want to do so. I didn't want to do only like education. I want it to be also like a cool project. So the way I designed it is that not only I learned them, all the softwares I use, all the methods I use, how they can create a drum track that sounds organic, in any particular style. But what we do is, so we are on one-to-one like we are today on Zoom, and I share my screen and I show them exactly what I do. But what we do is we also create a track, so from scratch, like a custom track, where we go through the process and where the user will be able to keep it in the end, exclusively for him to use it in his song.
Oh wow, that's really good.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
So that in that way, they don't only leave, with knowledge on how to program drum tracks the way I do, but they also leave with a finished product already that they can use in their songs.
Wow. So do they need the programs that you use to do it on their computer as well at the same time?
Yes, everything. Like I share my screen, one-on-one on Zoom, and I go through all the details and the techniques and the tips, that I use, and all the softwares I use. I go through absolutely everything, my method on how to do that. And so, yeah, I mean, another crazy thing is that I was thinking about it the other day when I launched the program is to kind of pitch it. I was thinking, I have been programming drums for more than 20 years. And, and then all of a sudden I was like, Arnaud, how old are you? How come?
It's a long time.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. I'm like, so no, but it's all great, and I'm having a blast. Just started, like 3 weeks ago, and it's so cool, because then you interact with the users that have been saying, hey, I've been using your drum tracks for so long, and I'm so happy to finally be able to learn from you. And we talk a lot about how did you get acquainted to my drum tracks, and I did this and I did that, and it was so long ago. So it's so nice to be able to, as I said, like to go in depth with the user and also just communicate and exchange that way.
Yeah, I mean, that's probably the one thing I get when people ask about this album. So they might ask how they all come about, and they always freak out when I tell them, like, nearly every song on here was written around your drum tracks. Like all the ideas come from you, really, from the tracks, and then I wrote the songs from there. Except for there was a couple that I had from a long time ago, like Tell Me and Stand Tall. But besides that, they're all written around your tracks. And so to learn what you're talking about, how to do your own tracks, drums, that would be really, really good. Very handy.
Yeah, well, and it's for me, it's always like it really touches me a lot when people say that, like my tracks are able to inspire them. And because this is exactly when I started to do that, in 2014 to, release, create, produce, and release tracks for others to use. That was always my idea, like, hey, I can empower and inspire other musicians all around the world to do that, and to be able to hear that, from you and so many others. It's always amazing. I'm so grateful to have been able to do that.
Yeah.
So I guess it felt to me like this was just, I always feel like, how can I bring more value to the community? How can I do even more? And so it felt to me like a logical step, to say, hey, that's awesome. Let's do even more. How can I provide even more value? There are a lot of people who would, love to learn this from me. Let's do it. I'm gonna give it to them. So for me, it's a thrill. It's this community that I've been a part of for so long, to be able to contribute to it as much as possible. Yeah.
So is it a set time? Like, do you have 5 days or 5 weeks, whatever, or is it just whenever they get it down, that's it?
Well, the way it works is we plan 4 sessions, 4 one-on-one sessions, and they don't usually, like now we started, for example, with the first users, we quickly realized that the best is to do it once a week. And so we schedule it once a week. And then we go through the 4 one-on-one sessions. And after that, they get the custom track, for them to write, record, and really release their song with it. But it doesn't have to be that defined. Obviously, it's about everybody's schedule, So I was thinking about that too, before I launched it, and should I set like a time frame that this is what we do, and kind of having a strict, like, boom, we're doing through that time. And for now, I kind of left it a bit more like flexible and open. But we will see after I get more users in. I'll be able to perhaps refine some of the details of the formula a little bit. Yeah.
No, that's really good. And so all the sounds. I mean, I know like your drum tracks, they sound amazing. So so are they getting the same results, the same sounds, or?
Yeah. So basically, I show them exactly what I do.
Yep.
And so in the end, the end result will be exactly what you hear on my YouTube channel or on my website, the tracks that you get, delivered on my website. That's exactly the results that that it will get in the end with a custom track that we are building together. And then I'm basically making them go through also all the softwares I use, how I have developed those different kits, on these softwares. And then basically after that, it's up to them if they want to, use these softwares or not. I am just basically being extremely transparent and saying, this is what I use. This is how I get this sound. And then it's up to them to say, hey, this is, I want to have this exact sound too. So I'll get these, softwares as well. And or they think, I just want to learn really how to program, and then I want to use my own drum sound that I already have, So it's basically for everybody, like this program is for everybody, whether you already have, your own kits and your own, production setup, but this is how I want to sound like. Okay, great. Then you learn how to program. And if you want to learn really how to program and also like exactly what kind of kits I use, how I get these results, it will also be, taught in the program.
Okay. Yeah. So for someone like me, for example, I've never programmed drums. I've got the real drums, which doesn't sound that good. And I don't really have any like drum samples or anything in here. So you'd be able to teach all that as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
100%. And it's a good point you're making. Like, this program is for everyone, whether you're a beginner, like you said, like I never programmed drums, or whether you're more advanced and you've done it and you just want to, reach another level, and make it, your drum tracks sound more organic, more dynamic, more powerful. So that's exactly what I wanted to do. I wanted to have a program that was for everyone.
Yep.
And so when typically, if you're really like a beginner, we really take, even more time to go through like the softwares and, like the methodology, how to use them, how to, for example, I use a MIDI editor, in order to program. Yep. And so I go through, okay, this is how I use the MIDI editor. This is what this, for example, the kick drum, this is how I write it down on the MIDI editor. So we really go, it's a very in-depth program where the goal of the program is that we go through all the single steps that after that the user is by himself able to program drums the way I am.
Yep. And do you think do the people that have to know how to read basic music, or that doesn't really matter?
No, I mean, as long as they have like a basic knowledge of like tabs, that already is good enough. And I even if they would not, I can still relatively quickly be able to teach that to them. For example, there was a user that was only a bit experienced with MIDI editing softwares, and in the first session, we basically went through, how to use it, how to create, different grooves, like even simple grooves at first on the MIDI editor, and how to make it sound like organic. And very quickly he picked it up. It was a very, very instinctual process, very natural process. That's what I'm trying to say. And yeah.
Oh, that's really good. Yeah. So if someone had like a song and a riff, and then they send it to you, say, hey, this is what I want to do. I want to make drums to this track. Then you can basically just teach them from scratch.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
That's good.
This is the same thing I've been doing for so many years already with custom work, which is that when musicians contact me to produce a custom track for them, they either have already like a song without drums, you know, so like they have guitar, bass, maybe even vocals. And they even have sometimes like a drum track, like a demo drum track to go along with it, but you know, they want to make it sound really much better.
Yep.
Or sometimes they just contact me and they say, hey, you know, I'd like to have a thrash metal drum track at 200 BPM, and I don't have anything else. I want you to build me the track first, and then I'll record the guitars later.
Okay. Yeah.
So I'm very comfortable doing both. And so for the program, for the mentorship program, it works in the exact same way. Either you say, hey, you know, I have this track and I would like to be able to, you know, create the track that we are using as a base for me to learn based on this track, you know, that I already have, like the song that I already have. Always starts from scratch. Both. We can do both, really.
Do you think it's better for people to do this program to have a song, or just whatever? Oh, it doesn't really matter.
It doesn't really matter. I mean, I can do both absolutely in the exact same way. So it's up to them. If they have a song that they say, hey, this is an opportunity for me to actually have drums made for that song and to learn at the same time.
Yeah,
then that's great. That's great for them, you know, and that works for me as well. So we can do both. Yes.
Yeah, that's really cool. I love it. Great idea. So I'm sure, yeah.
Cool, man.
Yeah, I'm sure a lot of people get a lot out of this.
Yeah, I got a lot of interest when I launched it, so that's very, very cool. I'm very excited about it. And just like I always say, you know, like I always feel like I want to, you know, do more for the community, and I want to provide more value and, you know, do things that have never really been done before in this way. That's like in 2014 when I started, you know, the whole drum track idea of, you know, having tracks available online for musicians to be able to quickly, you know, purchase, write, record, and release their songs with. My idea was, this has never really been done in this way. What can we do to empower musicians using this great technology that we have? And you know, trying to provide something that would be very innovative in this way. And the mentorship program, you know, is going in the same direction, really.
Yeah, that's really cool. So what I'll put the link up on here as well, so people can get onto it.
Sure.
So is that the best way people to get into that, and then they just follow the prompts where to go?
Absolutely. You get the link, arnaudkrakowka.com/mentorship, and there's all the information you need to know how it works. You know, I go through quite a detailed explanation on why I'm doing it, what can you learn, how the process work, and basically the user can simply sign up for the program on my website, check out, and then basically we'll receive an email from me, and we will schedule our first session. I will in the first email also kind of establish, hey, are you a beginner or are you more advanced? And right away we schedule the first session and we get started.
Easy.
So pretty simple. Yeah, pretty straightforward, really. Yeah, indeed.
Yeah, that's cool. And is there different packages, or is it just like the one set price?
For now, it's just one package. I wanted to keep it extremely simple, you know, like one mentorship program, you know, it's all included. You know, you got 4 live one-on-one sessions with me, where, you know, again, you learn all my methods and my techniques to produce drum tracks. We go and build your own custom tracks that you will be able to keep afterwards and use in your song. I go through the softwares I use, so it's all like really a one package, all included. And you know, I really wanted to keep it very simple. I didn't want to make it sound too complicated with different tiers, you know, different you know, packages. And I wanted to say, hey, you know, let's make an all one including package that covers everything. That covers everything. And basically yes, that was what I wanted to do.
Yeah. And you learn how to not hit your mic.
Yes. Very important.
Yeah. No, that sounds great. Sounds really, really good. That's good. How about guitar playing? You're doing, I know you're busy with all this, but you're doing much guitar playing?
Yeah, I mean, like in general, yeah, I play still, you know, like not as much like when I was 20. I was playing like, you know, 8 hours a day, you know. That was that phase. Yeah, I call it the Malmsteen phase, you know, like when I was going through all these amazing guitar players, you know. I'm seeing, Jason Becker, Uli Jon Roth, all these heroes of mine. And
Yep.
I met actually Uli Jon Roth a couple of years ago,
Oh, really?
in Germany. And
Oh, wow.
yeah, he was so kind. He's such a great guy. And it's really, for me, he pretty much like came up with that neoclassical guitar playing, that all the guys from the 80s and afterwards followed. And
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, I'll tell you a quick story about how I met him, because it's very funny. So I have this ticket to see him in Germany, and I was living in the Netherlands at the time, so I was pretty close.
Hmm.
And so and he always plays, in some really like small town, small venue in the middle of nowhere, and it makes it even quite interesting, to go to these places because you can easily communicate with a lot of people, and that's really always nice. So I go there, and it was like about 3 and 4 hours that from where I was living, and I
Hmm.
get there, and then basically it was really very tough to find the place. Fortunately, I had my GPS, but when I arrived to the venue, my phone died. I didn't have battery anymore,
Oh, no.
and I didn't have my charger with me either. And so I'm like, now that's great, you're here, but how on earth are you going to find your way back? And it was in the night, and
Yeah.
so I was like, okay, let's see how that turns out. So I go in the venue, I ask for chargers, nobody has chargers for my phone. I'm like, okay. And then I found like somebody from the venue and say, hey, you can go upstairs with me, you can meet the owner of the venue, and maybe he can help you with it. So I go, super nice guy. He said, yeah, I'm going to print you the itinerary back, the route back, so that way you can go easily. So he prints it up for me, super nice. We talk and say, hey, have you met him actually, by the way? I said, no. So do you want to meet him? I said, sure. I was like super pumped. And then all of a sudden, like, this dramatic situation is turning out to something awesome. So the concert goes on. Uli is amazing as always. And after the concert, there's, he goes to sign some autographs, and the owner of the venue says to me, let's wait until he signs everything off. And after that, I'll talk to him and you can really be one-on-one with him. So
Wow.
I sit there, the owner comes and gives me a beer, say, here, you can wait. Okay. So I'm like, this is amazing. Like, this is the best possible scenario ever.
Yeah.
And then after he was done, signing autographs, I got introduced to him, and the first thing he said to me was in French, because I guess the owner of the venue told him that I was French, and he
Yeah.
speaks French very well. I was so
Oh, really?
surprised about that. Yes, it was incredible.
Wow.
And then we talked a lot about guitar playing, about spirituality, esoteric concepts, that he also used, and I'm also quite interested in. And it was an amazing conversation, really one of the greatest moments, and I've experienced. So so that's a quick story for you, but
Yeah.
that was amazing. Yeah.
That's unreal. Yeah, so thankfully your phone went flat.
Yes, absolutely. So in the end, like in life, what we always say, like if you have a seemingly a challenge or a difficulty, sometimes it's for the best.
Yeah, that's right. That's really good.
That's pretty cool. I saw also that was so cool. Like, you had Joe Satriani and Zach Wilde on the podcast as well,
Yeah,
right?
they're amazing.
How freaking cool was that, man? You did an amazing job to get these guys. That's so cool that you did.
Yeah, Satriani, it was great. It was really good. Like, it just felt like catching up with an old friend, like, just talking to you type thing. It's just like, it was really good.
Yeah, he seems to be. I never met him, but he seems to be very chilled as well. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Even Zach Wild, it was just funny.
Zach Wild is a joker, of course. He's
Yeah.
Zach Wild, man. Yeah, that's also my experience from, like, most of the guys I met at that level are just very cool guys. They're very friendly, nice, well mannered, and polite, nice, to talk to, approachable.
Yep.
And I think that's great, because it gives an image that we all humans, we all in this together, we all in this community of music that we like, and we contribute to it in different ways, and that's like I think like a healthy spirit of a community, that we're not that there's not one who thinks that he's on top of each other, that we kind of like all having our own role to play in it. And so I was thrilled, man. When I saw that, I think the first was Satriani, and then Zach was after that, and it was like, hey, Adam is really stepping it up with his podcast. He's really kicking ass, so it's a great job, absolutely killing it, man. Cool, man.
All right. Well, thanks again.
So keep rocking, buddy. Keep me updated, and talk to you later.
For sure. Thanks again.
Rock and roll. Thank you. Cheers.
Bye. Yeah, bye.